Well, now in Job chapter 32, Elihu is going to respond, which is one of Job's friends, and talk with Job now in this greater conversation. And I think, and I'd love to hear your comments about what do you think now that we've gone this far in? We're nearing closer to the end of the book of Job. So we've got a little bit more to go, but there's still, we're getting there. This is a fantastic discussion, a fantastic conversation that Job and his friends are having. Could it be real? Maybe it was. Maybe this was a real conversation that he and his friends had philosophically about right and wrong, good and evil, those kinds of things. I think it's easy to see from here, though, where some scholars would look at this and say, this isn't a normal conversation. To have it laid out this way, maybe this Job wasn't a real person. Maybe this is a story made up so that these principles could be taught. That's possible. Most likely he is real. If you go back to the first chapter of Job, we talk about some of those arguments for and against him being real. So go back and look at that. So Elihu is going to respond to Job now after Job has finished his whole conversation and parables and things. So let's see what Elihu has to say. Verse 1, so these three men ceased to answer Job because he was righteous in his own eyes. So now it's saying that these three men, these are the three friends of Job, they didn't want to respond to him, basically. They think that he is full of himself, basically. And of course this is the pot calling the kettle black, is what it really comes down to. Sometimes when we see a problem in others, it's because we have that same problem. And that person is being a mirror reflecting it back to us. Anything that irritates you or gripes you about others, it's probably a problem you have, honestly. If you look at it from within, you'll usually find that you have that same thing too. Verse 2, then was kindled the wrath of Elihu, the son of Barachel, the Buzite, of the kindred of Ram. Against Job was his wrath kindled, because he justified himself rather than God. Also against his three friends his wrath was kindled, because they had found no answer and yet had condemned Job. So Elihu is here, and says, verse 4, now Elihu had waited till Job had spoken, because they were elder than he. So there, Elihu is a younger person in this group, and he's really upset that these three men haven't been able to help Job to understand what's going on. And Job, from their perspective, Job's coming across self-righteous. He isn't. He's just explaining the truth. But from their perspective, he appears to be in a self-righteous attitude. So they're looking at him going, dude, you're the wicked one. And he's going, no, I'm not. Yes, I can be wicked. Yes, there's challenges, but there's a greater understanding of the complexity of the laws of heaven, basically. So he says, verse 5, when Elihu saw that there was no answer in the mouth of these three men, then his wrath was kindled. Then Elihu, the son of Barachel, the Buzite, answered and said, I am young, and ye are very old. Wherefore I was afraid, and durst not show you mine opinion. Now, age made a difference back then. Ageism, which is a modern term, was a thing back then, where the more elder they were, you treated and respected your elders. Their opinion mattered more than the young's opinion, basically. And so he's like, look, I waited to listen to you guys, to give your advice. I can't wait any longer. I've got to say my piece. And he says here, verse 7, I said, days should speak, and multitude of years should teach wisdom. But there is a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding. Great men are not always wise, neither do the aged understand judgment. Therefore I said, hearken to me, I also will show you mine opinion. So he's going, look, I might not be known as a great person, or I'm not an old wise person, but I know something that can help, and you should listen to what I have to say, because the message is important, not because of who I am. He says here, verse 11, behold, I waited for your words. I gave ear to your reasons, whilst ye searched out what to say. Yea, I attended unto you, and behold, there was none of you that convinced Job, or that answered his words. So he's kind of reproving Job's friends at this point. He says, verse 13, lest ye should say, we have found out wisdom, God thrusteth him down, not man. Now he hath not directed his words against me, neither will I answer him with your speeches. They were amazed, and they answered no more. They left off speaking. And so they're like, whoa, this is kind of a reproval from this younger person going, guys, I've listened to this argument. You're full of baloney, basically, here. And then he says here, verse 16, when I had waited, for they spake not, but stood still and answered no more. Verse 17, and I said, I will answer also my part, and I also will show mine opinion. For I am full of matter, the spirit within me constraineth me. Behold, my belly is as wine which hath no vent. It is ready to burst like new bottles. So that's when, fermentation process produces gases. Gases need to be vented off. And he's saying basically that he's full of this gas. It's building up. He's got to burst. He feels like he just has to say this. That this thought is just bursting out in him, and he's got to do something about it. Verse 20, I will speak that I may be refreshed. I will open my lips and answer. Let me not, I pray you, accept any man's person. Neither let me give flattering titles unto man, for I know not to give flattering titles. In so doing, my Maker would soon take me away. So that's a lot of words to say. I've got something to say that's burning inside of me, and I need to get it out. Basically, it's my turn to talk. But that's what he's in essence saying. So in the next chapter, we're going to learn more about what he says. So let's jump over there and see it.